Today I can explore and formalize triangle inequalities. For the warm-up, can you draw me 3 different triangles? I want 3 different triangles. One here, one here. What do you notice about the lengths and the angles of each triangle? Share with your partner. What do you notice? We'll share out in about 1 to 2 minutes. Go. The point is, did you draw 3 different types of triangles? Could you think of 3 different types of triangles? Okay. I drew some special triangles. Have you heard of a right triangle before? Where the one angle is a right angle? Does anyone know what this one's called? Equilateral. Equal angles. Anyone guess what this one's called? Isosceles. Not isosceles. It's obtuse because this big one's obtuse. We're going to get into classifying triangles in the second unit. But I just wanted to see what we knew about triangles, all right? Questions about the triangles you drew so far. Let's look at investigation 1. So our goal in investigation 1 is to discover the relationship between the side lengths, the lengths of the 3 sides of any triangle. So right now I'm going to pass out. Everyone's going to get 1 spaghetti noodle. Please don't eat it, okay? The first thing you're going to do right here is measure your noodle in centimeters. Measure your noodle in centimeters. Then you're going to break the noodle in 2 different spots and measure the 3 pieces. So you and your partner don't break your noodle the same way because we're trying to look to see if any patterns hold true. Okay? So again, when I break something in 2 spots, how many pieces should I have? 3. And what I want you to do is once you break them, what I want you to do is I want you to try to make a triangle. Now, the triangle has to have all the edges, the points, touch. Okay? So we're not all making the same triangle or we won't see this pattern. Let's pass out noodles and see if we can start by measuring. Here we go. Let's try it. Let's add the 2 smaller ones together. 5.3 plus 8.2. I got 13.5. Is 13.5 bigger than 13? Yeah. Yes. Let's try the one where someone got a no. 4.6 plus 6.7 is 11.3. It should be. It's not bigger. You're fine. This is smaller than the 3rd piece. So that's how we got a no. Let's keep trying it. Try it with your example. Your triangle. Add up your 2 shorter sides. Is it bigger than your 3rd side that's the longest? That's what makes a triangle. So let's write that down here. Do you want me to scroll up? I'll scroll up. I'm going to write it down here. Okay. The difference between these sides and when a triangle can be formed and not formed, the sum, we're writing this down, the sum of the 2 shorter pieces must be greater than the 3rd piece. I'm going to say 3rd piece. It's also the longest piece to form a triangle. So if the sum of the 2 smaller sides is less than your 3rd side, it will not make a triangle. Sure. Let's try it now. Can it be a triangle? Can we make a triangle with the following lengths? Give mathematical reasoning. So I'll do the first one, and then you guys are going to try B and C. So I'm going to add up the two shorter pieces. 8 and 4 is what? 12. Is 12 bigger than 16? No, 12 is less than 16. So no, this will not make a triangle. You guys try B and C with your partner. You have 1 minute. Try it. What do you think about C? If the two smaller sides add up to be the longest side, is that a triangle? What do you think?
Yeah. It's a weird triangle.
If it's just the same, it would just be two lines. Did you see that? Did you hear that? It wouldn't create angles in between. So this is a no. No. I would put a note right here. If equal, not a triangle. I'm using a little shape. Not a triangle. Determining the possible lengths for the third side. What are the possible lengths of the third side if two sides measure 15 and 6? So let's talk about this. What you're going to do, listen. To find the possible longest side, you're going to add the two shorter sides. You're writing this down. You're going to add the two shorter sides. So we get 21. To find the possible smallest side, I'm going to subtract them. Should I do 6 minus 15 or 15 minus 6?
15 minus 6.
Right, because I can't have a negative side. So if you get a negative, you should say, uh-oh, I can't have a negative side. And now the possible lengths of the third side is somewhere between 9 and 21. And I'm going to write that with an inequality. Are you ready? X is the third side, and it could be between those two values. So in words, I can also write between 9 centimeters and 21 centimeters. I want you to try the next two examples with your partner now. Turn and talk, please. The longest one, you're going to add them. To find the shortest one, you're going to subtract them. But if you subtract and get a negative, you subtract from It's okay. All right, let's try the next one. Who can tell me the next one? Hunter.
The longest side would be 431.
Okay.
And then the shortest would be 1.
Did you guys get this big range? Yes. It's a huge range because of our numbers. Can you imagine making a triangle like this? No. That's extra silly. But it's possible. It can make a triangle. Yes? All right, let's go to investigation 2 now. I gave you 2 triangles. What I want you to do is I want you to divide up the work. So one partner do one triangle, other partner do the other triangle. Shh, listen. You need to measure each side in centimeters. You need to measure each angle with your protractor. Then we are going to look at observations and make some conclusions here in a minute. So with your partner, divide up who's doing what triangle. Do you remember how to find an angle with a protractor? Call me over if you need some help. Go. What we should notice first, all your angles need to add to what? Right, we did that last unit. The angles in a triangle add to 180. What do you notice about the relationship between the angles and the sides? So like, for example, I got 72 for angle C. Side AB, what do you notice about side AB? It's the longest side of this triangle. Which one's the smallest side of that triangle? AC, and it's across from angle 43. Are you seeing a pattern? It's important to draw in the arrows. Okay, it's important to draw in the arrows. The longest side of a triangle is found opposite the largest angle. What? The smallest side of the triangle is found opposite the smallest angle. How do you feel about those observations? So like this is the largest angle, so this side would be the shortest. Which one's smaller, Y or Z? Which one's the smaller angle? Should be Y. So then XZ would be the shortest side. What we need to keep in mind is our notation here, because things are going to get confusing without notation. Let's go to the next page and let's try some examples together. Let's try it now. Angle. Yes, Daniel. A, Y.
Because it's opposite the longest side.
It's opposite the longest side. So angle A, how do I use angle notation? What's the symbol? The alligator thing. It almost looks like an alligator, but the bottom's a little flatter. And I need to read the directions. I have to list this from smallest to greatest. So the greatest one would be A. What's the smallest one? B. So then what's the one in the middle? Angle T. So again, review. This symbol means angle. And you have to use angle symbols because next we're going to compare sides. And you got to use side symbols and notation. How do you feel about example 3? Listing them from smallest to greatest. You got to draw the arrows in the triangle. Let's look at the next one. This one says list the sides from smallest to largest. So I want you to turn and talk with your partner. How are you going to list them from smallest to largest? Go. Third angle. What's angle W? Did you solve for it? 39 degrees. We have to have segment notation. Which segment is the shortest? W is the angle. So across from W, what segment is that? VU or UV. VU with a segment on top. You have to have 2 letters. You have to have the segment notation. Okay, what is the largest side? VW. Or I could say WV, because remember, segment order does not matter. What's the in-between one? UW. There are your 3 sides with segment notation. Questions? I want you to try the challenge problem now with your partner. And then we'll do the lesson summary. Ready, set, go. Try it. Ready? There's not a second bullet point. Let's summarize. Let's summarize, please. Shh. Side lengths. Here's our conclusion about side lengths. The sum of 2 shorter pieces must be greater than the third piece. To make a triangle. I'm sorry, I'm going to change the word pieces to sides so we don't get confused. The 2 shorter sides must be greater than the third side. Sorry, change piece to side. The angles. The largest side is across from what? Yep, the largest angle. The smallest side is across from the smallest angle. So it's individual pages, but I did print them back and front so that it was not just printed on one side, okay? So you're only doing the front side on your homework. It is numbers 1 through 10.